Hello, it's Rox here. Today we're gonna talk about Lash because many of you have been asking me about how to play him well, if I have any tips, or what items should you buy, or items that are good for him. I think we're gonna cover everything. We're gonna talk about his gun, we're gonna talk about our survivability stats, and everything you want to know about Lash. We're gonna cover every ability. I'm gonna show you some rollouts and some counters to Lash. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go straight to the video. Our first ability, Ground Strike, is an AoE damage. We are stomping the ground beneath us and damage enemies that are in the cone. You see on the ground here. The damage provided with this ability scales with spirit power. The higher you in the air, the more damage you're gonna deal. So now it's 195 and from the ground it's only 90. First upgrade to our ability is a cooldown reduction, minus 10 seconds from 19 to 9 seconds. This is pretty straightforward, so we're gonna move to the second upgrade, which is popping your enemies into the air when pressing 1. It is very useful because you can shoot your enemies in the air and prevent them from running away from you. When your enemies are popped in the air, you're gonna apply a slow, 50% movement slow for 3 seconds. The last upgrade works as a power spike. It improves your damage when you're higher in the air. So we do much more damage. As you see, damage per meter is 12.8. Without this upgrade, it's only 6. It doubles your damage. We're gonna move to another ability, which is Grapple. This is pretty obvious. You're gonna pull yourself into the air towards the enemy, or towards an ally, or towards a guardian, or towards a minion. You can use it also on the farms, and on the walkers, and on the patron. First upgrade is cooldown reduction, so we're gonna move to another one. The second upgrade though is bigger cast range. So instead of 30 meters, you're gonna have 50. And you can just use your grapple from further distances. Also, using grapple gives you a weapon buff plus 6 damage for 10 seconds. Talking about grapple, I think it is very efficient to have extra charge item because you need one grapple to maybe go in and maybe one to just escape. My friend Bean used to play on one charge and he's also doing very well, so if you're crazy you can stay with only one charge, it's right. Just remember about the cooldown, it is 21 seconds for one charge. Last upgrade is 20% fire rate bonus to your weapon. When you pair it with the second upgrade, of course, you're gonna do more damage with bigger fire rate. Next ability is Flog. You damage to your enemies with the whip, stealing life from them. This healing can be also improved when you use better items, for example Quicksilver Reload, and Infuser maybe because it has Spirit Lifesteal, and Enduring Spirit because it also provides Spirit Lifesteal. First upgrade applies 30% movement slow for 3 seconds. Second upgrade is a cooldown reduction from 26 seconds to 12 seconds, and it is also very good to say about Quicksilver Reload right now, healing basis of the damage that you deal to the enemy. So for example, if we do not proc Quicksilver Reload, I'm gonna heal for 52, and when I shoot my gun, I'm gonna proc it now. We heal for almost 100, so that's very nice to have on the lane, as it gives you a bit more sustain that you need as Lash, because you go in, damage and go out. Sometimes when you try to run, you can just grapple out, hit the Flog, have like at least 100 HP more, and you're gonna be fine. Also, you have to see that our Flog cooldown is 12 seconds, and Quicksilver Reload cooldown is also 12 seconds. Every time you're gonna use your Flog, you're gonna proc your Quicksilver Reload if you shoot your weapon. Wanna reload, you just use your Flog, deal 144 damage. This is very good on the lane, and shoot them again. What I would also buy to improve healing and damage, maybe Infuser, because lifesteal, and Enduring Spirit. Infuser can be swapped with Mystic Burst, but I'm gonna talk about this later. If you have Infuser and you have improved Enduring Spirit, once you get Infuser and you have Enduring Spirit, you can proc your Quicksilver Reload with your Flog to deal more damage, even more damage, and also heal for a big amount of almost 150 HP. This is pretty criminal on the lane. I think everyone who plays Lash kinda aggressively, like me, wants to have a little more sustain than just one Flog every 26 seconds. Last upgrade on Flog gives you 105 more damage and applies 35% fire rate slow. Moving on to our last ability, our ultimate ability is Death Slam. When you're channeling, you're gonna connect whips to the enemies, indicated by the circles, and you can throw your enemy wherever you want. First upgrade to our ultimate is max throw distance. we're gonna get 8 meters more distance. This is pretty straightforward too. The second upgrade is a cooldown reduction, and last upgrade is a stun in the landing zone for 1 second. If we throw 1 enemy or 5 enemies on one guy, he's also being stunned. This landing zone is indicated with the circle on the ground, this circle, and everyone standing in this circle is going to be stunned with your ult after you have your ult maxed. We covered all the abilities. Now I'm gonna talk a little about the gun and survivability stats, and then later we're gonna talk about some tips. I'm gonna give you some tips regarding our ultimate ability. Lash has a burst fire weapon that is useful on medium range. We have 29 bullets in the clip, and we have pretty good bullet velocity. You're gonna be the one that secures or denies souls the fastest because you have burst fire weapon. On the lane we start with 550 max health. Our health regen is only 2. What is also pretty important about Lash is that he has 15% spirit resist. You can use this against for example Magician, Yamato, Kelvin, or against anyone who inflicts great damage with their abilities. We also start with 7.3 meters per second move speed with 3 stamina. Yeah, and I think that's all about this. Let's talk about some tips about Lash. What not many people know is that you can look around while channeling your ult to get more people in it. Of course, you're risking that someone uses E-shift or just runs away from the cone, but if you have improved reach, for example, and there's not too many E-shifts in the enemy team, you can try to look around when channeling to get more people. When you want to ult someone, you're ulting 2 people, you can look around to get more. They all will be taken and lifted with your ult if you look around and gather them. So whenever you're ulting 2 people, you can always look back and get more. What is also a pretty good tip is that when you want to ult someone, you don't have to throw them on the ground immediately after ulting. You can think about throwing down the walls to maximize the time you have to deal damage.
I'm about to. Here's the grand finale. I'm coming with it. Taking you out.
Why is it important sometimes? Mostly because when you have a chance and you ult Yamato and you see that she has ult, or Calico, which also can have her ult, after you slam them down on the ground, they're gonna just immediately press 4, so you don't have any time to deal damage to them. So I think it's pretty nice to throw them on the wall and deal the damage at the second they hit the ground. It was clearly seen that they get damage before even hitting the ground. They got the damage from my 1. Now I want you to take a look on some good rollouts. By doing them you can get a very easy ground strike on someone, or one of the most common positions that I ult from. I think it would be great if you knew some rollouts, so let's just hop into it. First one is pretty simple. You just full jump from a wall and slam your enemies. And the second one is also a nice one, and you can just ground strike your enemies, wasting only 1 stamina for it. Also, from this position, you can hit a very good ult without making any grapple noises, because when people see your grapple, they're just gonna run away. And without that, you're gonna just use only your stamina to get a good positioning. Here's another ult rollout. You're gonna just jump scare your enemies. By doing a corner jump, you can easily get a good height to ult or ground strike. Moving on to blue lane. Another good positioning with jump pad this time. You just use your jump pad and stamina and a grapple to get a good positioning, and trust me, people won't see you that good. If they're busy fighting your teammates or shooting the guardian, they're not gonna see you that fast, so it's a pretty good positioning too. Another lane, another rollouts. It's pretty funny, but your enemies can see you very easily, so they can just use their time to go back and avoid being slammed by you. Now it's time for some old rollouts. There's 2 corner jumps on this lane. You can use them to get height and again get a slam or ult. If you wanna ult someone from the roof and you have Majestic Leap, it's even easier. That's all the lane rollouts I wanted to show you. Of course there's more, but I'm not gonna talk about every single one. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, you can check them out too. I can even link some in the description for you to take a look on them. Now let's see how to maximize your damage with ground strike. With just a grapple and a jump, you're gonna deal almost 180. With a good rollout, you're gonna deal 200 damage. With a rollout and a jump with a grapple, you're gonna deal 240. The corner boost is 200 damage. Corner boost with a grapple, 230. And a wild jump from a flower with a grapple and wall jump from mid-bridge, you can deal almost 250. Now I'm gonna show you most of the heroes who counter our Lash combos. Okay, so let's begin with Abrams. Abrams can always shoulder charge you after you slam him down, so you have to be cautious with this. Also, when you want to ult Abrams and he has his ult maxed, he'll be unstoppable, you won't ult him, and he can always take you down on the ground, then shoulder charge you again, and maybe kill you sometimes, if he has more teammates close to him. A common buy for Abrams and Moe and Krill too is a Phantom Strike. So whenever someone Phantom Strikes to you, he breaks your momentum by taking you down on the ground. So when you're ulting, and if someone takes you down on the ground, you can lose big potential from your ult. Second counter to you is Bebop. He can hook you from your ult when you're channeling, and also he can hook you from the ground after you slam him down with your ground strike. He can follow it with a bump and uppercut, and most of the times on the lane you can be dead then. Lash, as everyone knows, you like to dive your enemies, and if you get hooked by Bebop on the stairs close to the Guardian, you're gonna be uppercutted into the Guardian and probably die. A counter to being hooked when channeling your ultimate ability is of course Unstoppable. What many people do not know about our next counter, it's Dynamo Quantum Entanglement. When he Quantum Entanglements, you can wait it out and ult him after he finishes his ability. Sometimes, of course, if he does it faster and it's a good timing, it's impossible to ult him, but it didn't ever happen to me. So every time I waited the Quantum Entanglement, I could just ult Dynamo and all the people he took with his Quantum Entanglement. You have to be cautious when you're ulting your Dynamo. Most of the times he has his ult ready when he's showing up in the fight, and throwing him into your team can be very deadly and can result in a Lash, thank you for assist Lash from Dynamo. Also Haze can counter your channeling by throwing a sleep dagger on you. You need to be very cautious when you're slamming Holiday, because she's always ready to perform a full combo on you to just take you into their team, or just lasso you when you're channeling your ultimate ability. After solo ulting Mirage or ulting him with his team, he can use his Tornado to stop your ground strike and avoid the damage. You can also be countered by Paradox when she swaps you from your ult when you're channeling. As I already mentioned, the biggest counter to anything that can disturb your channeling is Unstoppable. You're gonna counter every single Haze Sleep, Paradox swap, lasso, Bebop hook, whatever, even knockdown, you're just unstoppable. When you're ulting Kelvin or his team when he's very close, you need to remember about 3 scenarios. First, when he domes his team so you won't ult them, or when you're ulting the enemy team, he's gonna dome after you throw them on the ground. It can also happen that you get into the dome with them, and I think it's pretty bad if you ulted Yamato or Shiv or Haze with her ult available. Yeah, most of the times we're probably dead. It can also happen that you get Ivy Stone formed. The most of the times it happens is when you're ulting from ground, probably on the lane. So she uses her Stone form and your ult get cancelled, you get stand. I was talking about throwing people on the walls. Yeah, it is very good when you're trying to ult Yamato, or you manage to ult her before she even presses 4, so it's possible for you to throw her. Most of the times though, when you're trying to ult her, she's just gonna press 4, so you don't have any chance to deal damage. Also, when you're using your ground strike, you're gonna pull everyone when colliding with them. Honestly, I don't know if we should talk about heroes that we counter, because there is not so many. You deal very good damage, so if someone doesn't have the improved spirit armor or any resist from your damage, for example Haze in the mid game or early game, even Wraith or Vindicta, you can just one-tap them, you manage to ult 4 people into your team. You're gonna be the mine damage, but when they fall on the ground, your team is gonna deliver some damage too, so they're already gonna be half HP. Your ground strike is gonna just kill them immediately. Remember about this when you want to ult someone. You have a potential in early game and mid game to just snowball. In the late game, sadly, you kind of fall off because of the improved spirit armors, E-shifts and everything. And every counters that I just mentioned, Kelvin Domes or Dynamo ults and Dynamo Quantum Entanglements sometimes. So in the late game, I would probably save money for refresher, or if it's an emergency situation when your enemies actually go into your base and they do not want to go back after weakening your patron, they can finish a game, so you don't have any way to get souls. I would sell some items, maybe gun items and some unused vitality items, maybe Cold Front to also free the slot, and buy refresher to deliver a good ult from the patron pit to your Fontaine to maybe save the game sometimes. There's a whole ass video on my channel when I just saved the game by double ulting them. We have to be honest, in the late game or very late game, you're just becoming an ult bot and just your team is waiting for you to ult like 1 or 2 people, because 6 versus 4 in the late game is a very good advantage. Okay, I think this is all for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. This is the ending of the guide itself. I hope that it helped you, and I hope you get better with Lash, better and better. We know there's no other way. See you in other videos, probably in some clips or in some VOD matches. You can also let me know which ones would you like to see. See you soon.